And you're live. Welcome in to In the Know with Steph and Joe. We'll be going live in approximately 20 seconds. Welcome to In the Know with Steph and Joe. In the Know with Steph and Joe is all about small business development. These two entrepreneurs bring real life experience, laughter, and a ton of knowledge on how to build your small business and make it thrive. This is your creation. Now, learn how to make it sing. In the Know with Steph and Joe, brought to you through the financial support of our good friends over at Restoration One of Cary and Steph's bookkeeping. Go figure that. But hey, let's not ever forget our good friends over at Epic Media. Right? Epic Media says when you are truly authentic, there can be no competitors. With the continued growth of technology these days, it's essential that you have an effective internet marketing strategy. Whether you need a custom website designed or help integrating your social media accounts to your business marketing program, check out Epic Media at Epic Media Inc. That's epicmediainc.com. Today, in the know with Steph and Joe, we're taking the leap.
Quote unquote the leap.
Woo.
I guess, hi, Mom.
Wow, she's in quick.
Linda, you
all the
came
way
in
from Arizona.
hot. I love that.
Came in
Hi.
hot.
Hi, Mom.
Woo.
Hi, Marie.
Okay, so let's dive into the show. So today I'm super excited about it. Hi, Derek. That we're talking about people that have taken the leap into business ownership, have not taken the leap into business ownership, and then have done it and gone back to being an employee. So I feel like we have an extremely well-rounded roundtable today.
Right. We're going to go over plenty of things that kind of that run the full gamut and the spectrum of taking that quote unquote leap, right? Like that actual point of doing that. So let's dive into it.
Okay. So the first question we're going to kind of get into is everybody's going to go around the table. So we're going to start with Chase, which y'all probably remember her from a previous show.
Hey, Chase.
And she is somebody that is a great general, but she's going to dive more into that as to why she feels that role is better served for her versus taking that next step into business ownership. So take it away, Chase.
Awesome.
Oh wait, you're not gonna give a shout out to everybody at the table?
We're going to go around the table, and I'm going to do
one at a time, Ken.
I should pay
one
attention.
At a time.
I should really pay attention.
You should. Like, Ken, man.
Sorry, I was free falling from the leap.
Did you say free falling or free?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Chase,
Okay.
Go ahead and
Sorry,
give
Chase.
everybody kind
Pick
of
it.
your a little bit about your background.
Okay.
In case they missed that show, and your why as to why you enjoy staying an employee versus a business owner.
Okay. Cool. Hi, my name is Chase, and I wow.
So you have 10 years of experience.
There you go. We're walking it through it.
My name is Chase. I have 10 to 11 years of experience in accounting. So I've been in accounting since 2011. I have 3 degrees. I'm not trying to collect them. It's just that I enjoy going to school. So
Really?
I have a degree in math, accounting, and business.
Awesome.
But then I've always been a good student. And now I want to talk about like how good of a worker I am. I think that for me, I'm more of an effective support to business owners or any management leader, stuff like that. I'm more of a worker bee. I like to get into details. So I'm a very, not the high level, but if you want to know about certain things specifically, I'm there to get you the answers. So I'm very resourceful, and then I do the analysis and all that stuff. So that's my background. And then also, I sometimes I'll have sometimes I'll think about wanting to run my own business, but I watch Steph like almost every day. I don't know if I can do something like that, maybe because I've never pushed myself to do it. But in the meantime, even though I don't have my own business, Steph knows that sometimes I'll get like outside projects. Like, for instance, I do taxes at Jackson Hewitt right now. And so sometimes we'll have customers coming in and they would come in and like bring this bag of receipts kind of thing. And they're like, and we tell them, hey, we don't do that part, we just do taxes for you. So then that's when I see an opportunity to provide my services to like a smaller kind of individual business type. So then I would do their bookkeeping for that day, and then charge my own fee or whatever, and then we'll do the taxes afterwards.
And and in that being, you find yourself kind of, like you said, in that support role, right? So you find yourself that you don't want to go and be dragged down by the, the networking, like what is that holdback for you on that? Because you and I were talking about it in the green room a little bit, right? Like, what is that drag down?
Actually, I seem like an extrovert, but I'm really an introvert, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like talking to people, but I don't. If I have to, I will talk to like huge groups. But for me, I like to talk to each person individually and really touch up on their emotions, their thoughts, and all that stuff. So I'm more like that.
Not to scare you, but there's only 400,000.
Yeah, I don't know how many people you think you're talking to here. But.
So yeah, that's how I.
That's excellent.
That's how I kind of support the bosses like Steph, is that sometimes bosses don't have the time, not that they don't want to, sometimes they don't have the time to talk to these people. And I'm the mediator to where I'm trying to comfort them, explaining to them, here's where we're at, here's what we're going to do. Just kind of bring them back to the same page where we're at and then continue moving forward.
That's awesome.
So let's say hi to Mary Shep and Tim Santos.
Hey, Mary. Hey, Tim. Eddie.
Hey,
what
Eddie.
up, dog? Live audience, we love you. Give a holler from back there.
So then now let's move on to Josh. So Josh obviously has a very fancy sweater. He's representing Restoration One as well.
Yeah.
And so you previously took the leap into business ownership.
Correct.
And then now you're working with him and Carrie.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So let's find out how that all happened.
Start not way from the beginning, but let's start from like, getting into your hey, I want to go and run a company. You obviously did work for a W-2 before us, right?
Yeah.
And then you were like, nope, I want to do this. Carrie and I, fortunately, we're along for you with that ride, right? And so that's kind of where I think you should kind of dive in.
It starts a little bit further back than that, so we'll start a little bit further back than that. So, 2016 or so, I was working for somebody, moved out, moved north, got an opportunity to be a subcontractor for a local company, and took the leap without really knowing anything, without them explaining anything. Got into being a business owner and was a subcontractor for an HVAC company. Worked for them for a few years and started my own business through that, and was doing pretty good, but had no idea the important side of things, the bookkeeping side, Steph's side of things. And I got in over my head on that, started working for a W-2 employee again, met Joe and Carrie through a gentleman I was working for.
Correct, yeah. Got
in with them, fixed my taxes, was going to leave, and then they lured me in. I saw their...
Whoa. Let's not make it sound like it's that
bad. I saw their passion. I saw Joe and Carrie's passion for running a business and really, really agreed with how they ran their business, and here I am.
What did you find? And I kind of know the answer, but what did you find was the benefits for working with us versus going off and doing your own thing? Because obviously we all know, entrepreneurial spirit. We all know that you go out there, you drive your thing, you can make more money than you ever will working for somebody else, right? Whatever it may be. But what are those pros and cons that really made you weigh that one way or another, right? Because that is the difference between a lot of people here that don't have those opportunities to go back and forth.
Yeah. My biggest thing was, everybody says the free spirit, working for yourself, be your own boss, you have the opportunity, but nobody is talking about the overhead, the cost of running the business. Nobody's talking about that. That's the backside of things. And that was the biggest thing that strayed me away from being an owner was the overhead and the cost that I didn't want to have to deal with.
Literally, yeah.
I mean, I learned it. I got in. I'm like, you know what? I will help somebody else grow something that I really believe in and do it that way versus owning myself, because the ropes it's endless as long as you put in 100% to it.
Love that.
And then
That's awesome.
now we got Miss Lynn Gale here,
Who's not employed by either.
Nope.
people.
No.
She is completely
I'm in the middle. I'm in the road here.
Yeah.
So Lynn has actually taken the leap,
Yeah.
and you went from being a W-2 employee to now having your own business and
Yes.
your own team. So tell us a little bit about that backstory and how that came to be.
All right. It all started when I was 10. So everybody get comfortable. No. So when I was 10 years old, I have a brother that's older and younger. They pushed me around a lot. They were terrorists. And they would say things to me like, you're just a stupid girl, or you don't know anything, or whatever. And it really lit a fire under me. The person that you, Jeff and Stowe, who are you? Joe and Steph.
Listen, I'll be Jeff because I've been that during the show, so I'm okay with it.
Joe and Steph know today was really born from this 10-year-old Lynn who, for survival, just said, hey, my God, I'm going to show you jerks something. And, talking about my brothers. And I started my corporate career when I was 10 in my mind. And my goal was, hey, I'm going to be the top corporate employee ever by the time I'm whatever age. So I was really driven to succeed, and I have a drive. So at 48, I met every goal I ever set out for, and that was education. I got my MBA. I worked corporate B2B, made more money than I ever dreamed I could make in a year. But here's the problem is when you're driven for such a goal, for me, my health was becoming an issue, and I thought I was running into a heart attack from the way I owned my job and my territory when I was in sales in pharmaceuticals. I really treated it like my own business, but I had the huge safety net, which was my corporation.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
Supporting you behind you.
And if I had a problem, I could go, but they always just said, I don't want to get in your way. Go do your thing. If you need help, we're here. So I did my thing. And so in reflection, I was really entrepreneurial young on, and I was just doing it for somebody else's business. But here's the thing is that my business was sold to a bigger fish. So, WebMD comes in, buys my company. They're great. WebMD's great. I thought, woo, bigger fish. I'm going to go more the ladder. As it turned out, they didn't really want an orange in their apple basket. So I ended up losing my work. So I sat there one day and said, okay, Lynn, I was 51 at the time. I said, what am I going to do? Well, the first thing I needed to do is I needed to get my health back in check. I was 50 pounds overweight, mentally, physically, spiritually broken. And I found this really great company. Can I say the company?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
absolutely.
So,
No, you're here to rep it.
all right. So I'm an Optavia health coach. Yeah. Right.
Hey, jerk.
So I found this great company to help me. I lost 35 pounds in 14 weeks. Overall, I've lost 40. It's been 3 years since I've kept the weight back. And that's really what I'm most proud of. Lots of people can lose weight. Many never keep it off. When with the company Optavia, we're really, we're taught a lot of things, but when you're representing them, you are fully independent. I'm a 1099 employee. It's my choice to be there. Joe, stop, pick up your pen.
Sorry.
I know
I
he's.
dropped it. I had a question and I wanted to write it down before I
No, it's all
forget
good. So I had some money in the bank when I left corporate. So I did have a little bit of that cushion, but it was a leap of faith. And I have to tell you, I knew not what I was getting into. Joe and I have known each other for almost 3 years, and Joe has been my sounding board for a lot of things. And one was he recommended a book by Darren Hardy called The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster.
Great book, right?
It is a great book. I love it. And he actually, by introducing me to this book, he introduced me to this author who now I'm doing a 12-week class through, Darren Hardy.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
He's a really good author that is fully devoted to the true entrepreneurial.
It is.
And we've never I've never brought him up here, but I really like what he talks about. More so because what he talks about is not something that's new and like a total, I don't know what you call it, epiphany, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna. Some people might have a small one here or there, but it's not like he's teaching new stuff.
No.
He's literally talking about something that everybody should already know. It's just a matter of putting it into practice or getting that stupid little aha moment to go, oh, this is how I relate this to that and make it connect and make it make sense.
Yeah.
Right?
And here's the thing about the book is 3 years ago we met and you recommended it and I got it. And oh yeah, it was a great book. Thanks, Joe. But okay, I'm 3 years in now. And so I've seen some blood, sweat, and tears over the last tears. As of 48 hours ago, there were a lot of tears when I walked into our meeting bawling. But sometimes you just have to take that as a moment of growth. When you feel your weakest, that's where you rise to the occasion. And you say, what am I doing? I am on a mission. I chose this. I love this. And I'm taking it to the next level. And if I start to fall apart, it's okay because it's just another stepping stone of growth.
That's a great question. What am I doing?
What am I doing?
Right? Like, I want to know each person, right? When did you have that moment of what am I doing? And let's start.
So we'll say hi to Ted. And Marie says, congrats to Lynn.
Thank you.
And also any other small business owners or employees out there, if you want to kind of give a little few sentences of your taking the leap or not taking a leap and how that's gone for you, we would gladly read it on the radio. Or if you have any questions for anybody on the panel, please feel free to ask. They are here to answer all of your questions. So they don't have to do our pre-screened questions.
Yeah, those are boring.
I mean, they're not bad. I'll tell you this: mine aren't pre-screened. I'm literally making stuff up as we go along here. So,
okay, so now you could go.
All right, so it's that literally what am I doing moment, right? In a couple of a few sentences or whatever, just give us that brief little when you had that what am I doing moment, right? Whether it be coming to here, not making that jump, go it's just that I'm gonna say oh shit moment, right? When you're like, oh crap, what the fuck am I doing here, right? And how do I make this work, or how do I get out of this, or how do I do something different, or do I keep down this path? What do I do? So let's start with Lynn because you mentioned it, and then we'll run backwards around.
So I've asked myself that question multiple times over the 3.5 years that I've coached. In the beginning, I coached part-time, just dipping my toe in. But for the last 3 years, it's been full-time. I've asked myself that question, and I get different answers every time. So it's not always the same answer, but what the frick am I doing? I can always run back to the old.
Corporate, right?
Corporate. But this is what my newest epiphany is. Somebody just a month ago said, have you burned your boat? And I'm like, what the frick are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Boat or bridge?
Boat. Have you burnt your boat? Okay. So some people haven't heard of this. So if I may take a few minutes to explain it, it's basically here I am in safety land. Think of it as candy land. Everything's great and fun and I know what I'm doing. I know the ins and outs. I know all the traps. And I decide that Candyland is no longer going to serve sugar. So it's time to get out. So I get in my boat and I sail over to the Chutes and Ladders game.
Okay.
I go over there. I'm just making this up as I go.
I love these kind of things. You haven't heard my machine yet, clearly.
So I'm in my boat sailing, chugging, doing the paddles. And get over there. So now I'm over. Yes, I'm over at the Chutes and Ladders game. And it's foreign land.
Right.
They've got
Jeff.
They've got some apples maybe being thrown at me. Got these ladders that I don't know how to climb, all this other type of stuff. But it's scary, but it's exciting because, I'm somewhere new. But you get to the beach and you're like, well, what do I do now? So you decide to walk along and explore. And every turn could be an obstacle. Boom, you fall through. Or it's like pitfall. Boom, you fall through. And then you pull up again and you go along. So you're in this new land that's called the Chutes and Ladders land, and you can still see your boat back to Candyland. And someone's screaming, "We have sugar again! Sugar's fully in stock!"
Which I have to say, because you were somebody that you've mentioned before, like sugar is your downfall, right?
That's
So
my-
that's why you're relating this all back to
sugar.
Candyland,
Yeah.
right? Is because so now I get it. You have your boat.
Yep.
Is your boat gone, or can you still sail back
my
to
boat
Candyland?
My boat was up until 2 weeks ago still tied up to the dock.
The dock, the pier out at Chutes and Ladders, right?
Yes.
And you could easily get back in that boat and sail back across.
Absolutely.
So I love this analogy.
Okay, so I'm looking at my boat. I can scream, someone's got a bullhorn, sugar's back. And I'm a recovering sugar addict. And I'm like, ooh, yum. And I keep thinking about that. But if I go back there, then I've erased the 3 years of growth that I've had. And
so burn your boat. Did you do one of those like Viking funerals where you shot a flaming arrow at it?
I love that. But what I really did, when I burnt my boat, it was just 2 weeks ago, because finally you have to say enough is enough already. This is what I'm doing. I took some gasoline and I had prepped it.
I love it.
I threw some of the hay from the farm in it. And then I threw my match and then I sent it out. And then my boat is burned. So I'm forever now a health coach, corporate be damned.
So Lynn's is much more sexy of a story, but it was.
I love that you.
It was it was Spanish. It was back in 1519, and it was Spanish Captain Cortez. Who landed in Mexico. They were invading the new land, and people weren't sure. So that's what he said. Is he gave an order to burn the boats. We're here to fight and stay.
Everybody that's Kent, Mr. Encyclopedia.
I love that because I knew there was a reference to that besides the Viking burial.
That's why I say. That's why I say hers is a lot sexier.
Yeah.
Candyland and Chutes and Ladders. I follow
that.
I follow that a lot better.
Fair enough. But
yes.
Some of us may not relate to Candy. Some of them may want to go back to Monopoly.
Some are history buffs. Or
or Risk, right? Yeah.
Risk.
Some people are going back to Risk. Some people are going back to Monopoly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, let's work our way backwards. Josh, when did you have that oh shit or aha or whatever you want to call it?
Burn the boat moment.
Yeah, burn the boat moment. Like, I'm not going back. I'm not doing it.
I think, like Lynn said, I've had a few. When I was in business for myself, when I got that notice from the IRS, I went on for a bit.
Only them.
And then realized, you know what? I got to do something about this.
That's true.
And got out of business and kind of kept something on the side a little bit while I was taking care of my taxes. Took care of taxes, met Joe and Carrie while I was taking care of all that and fixing it, ready to jump back into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really saw, I think my biggest thing was I saw Joe and Carrie's willingness to let me grow with them instead of just stay stagnant and use me as a pawn. They wanted me
Which
to go
I think
with
you
them.
can hear that he's clearly jaded by some of his former employers.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. We know that.
I've worked for a lot of people.
Didn't he say he worked for you before?
He did not work for me before. No, he is not jaded for me.
I've worked for, I've done the W-2 thing. You know, I've worked for a lot of different people. And nobody had the willingness to let employees grow rather than just use them as a pawn to help them grow. And like I said, I saw that in Joe and Carrie, and I was going to leap. And then I decided to stay. Which,
you know, full disclosure, Carrie and I were totally supporting him to make that leap.
Yeah.
Like that's something that he hasn't even mentioned is that Carrie and I were totally, you know, giving him the upper hand and helping him to get those connections and make those connections to make his business grow.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that he could go out and do those kind of things but we also were poking him from the side going, hey, or you could just not do that.
Yeah. You could come with us. Joe was giving me referrals. I was getting benefits through them. I was getting referrals through working for them. And like I said, I really saw that the potential in staying with them and the benefit of, you know, not having to deal with Uncle Sam as much is really
that's a big
one.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yes. All right. Aha moment.
I was
Chase.
trying to I'm going to close my eyes so you don't see me. So
Come on, time to get vulnerable.
I don't have a huge. Well, I I guess I should say that the huge aha moment for me was in 2015 when my dad passed away. Because I'm used to people passing away, but not with a person that I was very close to and who was my dad.
Right.
So in 2015, I got into, I like self-taught myself about meditation, spiritual stuff, self-awareness and all that stuff. So for me, what the fuck, oh, sorry.
You're good. I already said it.
For me, it's like, what am I doing is actually
You're
a
late.
daily practice for me.
Which is awesome. Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a daily practice for me. I don't think that we have the answer. Even if we did think that we did, it's always going to change, like you said. So it's an ever evolving universe, and us as people, you know, we always change our minds and change what we're doing. But I use the what am I doing as far as centering myself, like just for simple stuff. Like last week I was like uploading some Excel spreadsheet into QuickBooks, and I'm like, oh wait, I just uploaded something wrong. And so wait a minute, nothing is making sense. So I take a step back and then see what I did wrong, if there is anything, and then correct that, and then move forward to the next step.
Aha moment, right? It's that time
then,
to take a step back and go, I got to reassess everything around me.
Yeah, I don't think that Chase has officially burned her boat. Like, because I feel like I feel like she's still,
like if we're talking burning boats, I didn't burn my boat.
I think she's like a committed to Steph's books and all that. And she gets excited about, because I have so many moments, as I'm sure she could say, where I come out of my office and I'm like, hey, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do that, and then she's like, okay, she's like, squirrel, and then so we bring it back down a peg or two. Like, her and Melanie have to kind of tell me every so often. Like,
what I'm gonna get you is one of those like net guns, right? So that when she comes out swirling, you just shoot the net gun on her and go, settle down, kid.
Or one of those Snapple cap things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, what was that?
But yeah, because I feel like Chase is still kind of evolving into things, because she's going to go back and get her EA designation. So she's still going back to education. So she's still evolving. So I don't feel like she's necessarily had that moment or need to burn her boat, because she's still building her boat.
In addition to that, it's that,
not maybe a boat, but like
or whatever.
You're just building islands around you, building like connections, bridges.
Exactly.
Right?
I think that's pretty awesome that you like observe that thing about me, because that's how I am. I'm very like not childish at heart. I'm very young at heart. Like, I always want to learn things, like discover things, be what?
Making fun of Joe.
Sorry,
Jeff's making fun of Joe.
Yeah, Jeff Bryant chimed in and said, if I burn a boat, it'd have to be a boat on a small lake in Salem, which is called Hooker Lake. And I am semi-known for something that happened with a boat up there. So
burn a boat, don't burn on a boat.
Right. Don't worry, I do that very well, and professionally, I don't burn boats.
Only burn a boat if you have a bigger one to jump on.
There it is.
Here's what I'm picking up, and I think this is good for everybody out there listening. Just as I'm listening, is we've got three really cool entrepreneurs at the table. We have an outstanding employee, which is good, and then we have an intrapreneur. Right. So you have that entrepreneurial spirit, but you're using it inside. I love being an intrapreneur too, because there's a sense of, you can burn the boat, but there's a sense of a net underneath you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That will support you and help you out. Maybe some guide wires.
Yeah.
And Chase, a great employee is awesome. A great employee is irreplaceable in a business, right? So having that, having that capacity as well, I think is fantastic. And you can burn your boat and say, because there's a lot of great employees who go, you know what, I could be the boss. And really, can you? Right?
And that's something that Josh can probably attest to the most, is in the trades, right? We'll just call it the trades, any contractor that's out there, right? You have that mentality of, I've been working in the industry for 10 years, and this is probably a similar mentality, and I know you've seen it 800 times over.
Yeah.
I've been working in the industry, whatever it may be, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, I don't care what the industry is. I've been doing it for 10, 15 years. I can do it myself. I can run my own company, right? What they know how to do is the job, they don't know how to run the business, right? Which the business is which the business is, you know, bookkeeping. The business is administrative. The business is marketing. The business is
The hopper.
The business is the hopper, the freaking conveyor belt, and the goddamn machine that sits over that conveyor belt and processes everything,
so
right?
passionate.
I love the machine. And like, if you don't know the machine and you're not working on the machine, I don't care what you know about your industry that you work in. If you don't know business, you're not in the right industry. You need to be doing your industry, not be doing business.
Yeah.
Right. And to me, that I'm very passionate about that, because I see so many people fail at that over and over again. And right, that's the machine. You got to process the widgets, right? Thank you.
I mean,
it came out just to see it. Thanks for the live audience.
When I worked in previous industry, and some of the lead technicians were like assumed that the owners are just sitting on oodles and oodles of cash and they're stuffing money in mattresses. and I could do this and this, and like that, all that stuff. And they're like, I could do this, and I'll just take all the money for myself. And then they ran into a similar problem where they didn't realize that you have to get insurance, you have work comp, you have the trucks, the fuel, the tools, the IRS, the advertising, like all of the stuff that comes off like the bottom line. And most people, they just didn't realize it. And some of them now have gone back to working for other people and experience that. So it's very interesting when people take the leap and how prepared they are.
Yeah, I want you guys to chime in about this, and just start chiming. Well, actually, we're at the half hour. You want to make your Hey, good.
Yeah,
somebody's paying attention.
Yeah, hey there. Yeah, we can certainly do that, Derry. Of course, you're listening to 216 Net. This is In the Know with Steph and Joe, talking today about taking the leap. And of course, In the Know with Steph and Joe, brought to you through the financial support of our good friends over at Epic Media. When you are truly authentic, there can be no competitors. With the continued growth of technologies these days, it's essential that you have an effective internet marketing strategy in place for your business. Whether you need custom website design or help integrating your social media accounts to your business marketing program, please give them a check out right at Epic Media Inc. That's epicmediainc.com. Jess is absolutely fantastic. You won't regret it.
Lynn, why don't you let everybody know how they can get a hold of you?
Oh, yeah, no, I'd love to. So my name is Lynn Gale. My telephone number.
Whoa. Hey, I want to make sure you're willing to give out your
well, how are they going to reach me?
The ladies
email.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. I want to start with
give
email.
my phone number out.
The ladies-
Joe's just afraid to
I
give his number out.
just start backing their phone number off here. And I'm
Just
like,
remember.
I am
Take
a
the calls
sexy
for
girl,
Joe.
though.
Listen,
So,
I just wouldn't be.
okay,
that
no,
with
I
it.
will give you two places. Okay, Lynn Gale. My email address, Joseph, is lynnngale467@gmail.com. Another great way to find me is on Facebook, and I am noted as Lynn Idstein, Idstein Gale, Gale. Lynn Idstein Gale.
Always remember.
Love that. See,
Lynn
that's
Gale.
perfect.
And
Lynn
then how they
Gale, the
get a
lady's
hold
so
of-
nice they
of
named
you
her
guys.
twice.
They can call Josh at his cell phone is 847-264-4664. Restoration 1 of Cary, 24/7. Josh would love to take my on calls and make sure that
all the time.
we respond to you guys 24/7. So if I'm on call and I can't make it because I'm on the show, he's going to respond. And I hope anybody listening gets Josh, because he's just one of the best that shows up and represents us awesome. So go ahead, rock it.
Steph at stephsbooks.com, or you could check out our pricing calculator at stephsbooks.com. And then we just approved the final web page for our tax services. So that will be launching, I think, in the next couple of days. So all of our pricing for our tax packages will be on there as well, since we're all about transparency.
You know, you took that leap to tax and you said, I got like these few clients already. She said to me today in the green room, she goes, I got these few clients. And I don't know where they heard of me. I didn't announce it. And I went, Steph, you literally said on the air last show. And I go, there's 400,000 listeners listening. And she goes, I don't know how anybody heard of this. And I went, forget what we do here every Friday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Or you
All
can call
right.
my cell phone, 847-942-3004.
Oh.
It's also plastered on the side of my car. So that's my
That's-
cell
listen,
phone.
if
Mine's
that's
on my car too, so I
If
might
that's your
blurb it
number,
next time.
There you go.
That's your number, plaster it out there. That's not how I want people to get a hold of me. I just want to make that clear and concise, and everybody knows that.
So I have a question for Joe and Lynn. Have you ever been in a situation after you took the leap into business ownership where you've been like, I don't know if this is what I really want to own a business, and have doubts about moving forward and wanting to go back to being an employee? Have you ever had that? And what helped you get through that?
I'll let Lynn go
Every
first.
damn day.
I was just gonna say, I'm gonna let Lynn go first. I'm
Every
gonna let Lynn
day.
go first on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all have self-doubts every day, no matter where we work. Now, is this my life path? Is this my purpose? And do I find joy in my work? All that type of stuff. So it's always good to ask yourself those questions. Now, I will ask myself those questions until I'm in tears, just because, you know, I happen to be that type of person. But I talked to a woman today who was literally crying on the phone, begging for my help. And after I talked to her for 45 minutes, I knew that she was the exact person I was back all those years ago. And if somebody didn't outreach a hand to me to help, where would I be today? I'd probably be 250 pounds working for Pfizer or something, not happy. So you have these questions, and they're fine to question them. But in the end, you absolutely 100% have to know that if you're in the game is when your heart sings, when you talk to the people that you know you can help and they say yes.
Love that answer.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
know that
say
was
Yeah,
ditto.
follow that up, Joe.
I'm gonna say ditto.
Ditto.
You followed it.
Ditto.
Jerks, jerks.
So
Yeah,
you were
I
going to
like
be
it.
250 pounds working for Pfizer?
I know.
Yes. If anybody can believe that I would be that.
Yeah.
Here's what I have to say is, first I have to backtrack a little bit to the burning the boat. My boat is not burned. I still have a boat I could go back on in insurance, because the company I worked for was my uncle, and he still is a very gracious and loving guy, and he would totally take me back into his company. So I have a fail-safe net, if you will, that I can fall back on. That being said, I looked at that and went, I'm never going back to that.
So Joe, you burned your boat.
Right.
Well,
You
I
did.
personally, in my mind, said I'm done. However, the boat's there. I could go back there and
Hey.
get on that boat. And
But
sail
you
back.
just said you never would.
Right,
It's
listen to
packed away in the closet.
Listen to
This
Liz.
thing's
Listen to Liz.
flipped over
Yes, I'm
on
right,
the beach.
Ken.
Listen
Thank
to Liz.
you.
Flipped over on the beach.
Ken, high five me.
Yeah, didn't you hear? Candyland is still there. She just
Still
ain't
there.
going back.
I
She
can
burned
go
the
buy
boat.
a new boat to go back to
Right.
it.
Well,
She
then
ain't
I
the
gonna-
boat's not gone.
Yeah, she burned
Figuratively,
it.
it never is. But you just
That's
said
what
you
I'm
would
saying is-
never go back. That's the boat being burned.
Well, but the boat's there.
Oh.
I can go back.
Okay,
I'm
well,
just
let's-
not getting on the boat.
You
You
could-
haven't
Can I
you
say
haven't
something?
emptied the
Yes.
lake yet.
Go ahead,
The lake
Chase,
is still
please.
there.
Oh
So-
my God.
Jump in, Chase.
So to me, I don't have a boat, like you said. I don't have a boat.
She's got a
I,
yacht.
I consider
She's got a solid concrete bridge
I know,
across there.
right?
Yeah.
I consider myself the boat
Yeah, girl.
because
Okay,
I
fair.
can take
I'm the
myself.
boat. I'm the boat. You listen. I'm
Because-
No, you're not.
That skinny ass.
Joe.
I consider
same.
myself
You're
as
not
the
even-
boat.
Joe, you're not even a
and-
canoe.
Show's overcut.
Okay, let Chase finish your
No.
thought.
I don't have a writing utensil anymore.
You
No,
do
I
it right
do.
there. Right
Yeah.
there's a pen.
All right, go ahead, Chase.
I think that's one of my aha moments too, is what am I doing? And so I do consider myself as the boat. And I've worked with co-workers who are like afraid to talk to their management to tell them what's wrong, or if they're doing it wrong, they're afraid that they might get fired. To me,
Okay.
for me, I like to self-teach myself or do train just to improve myself as a person, so that I don't have to fear that my boat would burn. And again, I had to make myself to be the boat. to improve that boat, build on that boat so that I can take it wherever I want to.
See,
Yeah.
which we're all looking.
Hi, Serena.
So Serena says
Hey,
that my
girl.
boat is ash, and I would agree with that. However, I can know that you could build a boat out of duct tape, so I will tape that ash back together and sail it across any goddamn lake I want.
Yeah. But listen, as an employee, you have to continually build your boat.
Yeah.
Right. So she's
Sure.
absolutely spot on.
Which
You don't have a boat.
What do you
No.
mean?
We are your boat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
You
Okay,
can
so
get on my back and I'll float you.
Listen, you want me on your back?
Different
So,
show.
so what you're saying more or less is I don't have a boat. I'm the island, and I now go ahead.
No, listen,
Yeah.
this show is all about taking a leap, right? You jumped out of the plane. You took a leap and you're like, well, the plane's going to land. I'm going to hit the ground. So I didn't leap. No, you left. You're out. You're out.
I
You're free
left
falling,
the
baby.
plane, right. But that doesn't mean that there's another plane that could swoop in and I can fall into it and then I
No,
fly away.
So
Yeah.
if you were so happy
Listen, I'm
and
looking for some James Bond stuff here,
But if
right?
you
Like,
were-
we're just making shit up.
no, if you were so happy and fulfilled in that other life,
Which I wasn't.
then would you go back? And you wouldn't go back, even though you have the option. Like I have the option to go back into construction. Would I and go work for somebody? No.
No, okay.
Like
Would
I've
you-
thought
would you-
about
okay,
it. Like I've
however,
thought about
if-
it. I've gotten offers.
If
And I'm
your
like,
island,
oh.
if your deserted island that you're on, your little candy land or your chutes and ladders
Yeah.
or whatever the island board is that you're on, suddenly starts whittling away, getting eroded. All of the beaches are falling away, and all of a sudden you're on this little one palm tree, little sand thing, and one coconut's just hanging up there, and that's all you got to eat, right?
Mhm.
And you look at that, would you think I got to build a boat and I got to go get off this island?
No, I would think that I failed as a leader and
But
I
what would
will
you do
remake
then?
my island.
But what
Yeah.
would you do then?
Yeah.
I would remake
Yeah.
my island.
How would you?
I would take a
how
step
many
back
people are
and I would internalize what I failed in as a leader to cause my other boats to leave port and to cause like my
Now we will
clients.
flee.
See, we're off of this whole.
But I'm just
shoots
saying,
and ladders
if
stuff.
you're saying,
But wait,
so if
so-
Josh is saying that he's like that they're the boats, and Chase is saying that they're the boats,
right,
So if
we're
I
off
failed
of the
as a
chutes and ladder,
leader,
and my boat is
okay,
getting
but if
me-
I
right.
failed as a leader, then my boats are going to leave the port. Once they leave
Right.
the port, my island is going to start to erode because those are my clients that built
Right.
my
Oh,
island.
snap. Look at
So
all
Right,
that.
then
So wait now.
Yeah, girl.
I
now
would
my
take a
question
step
is,
back
but
and
my
internalize
question is,
where I failed and where I need to reevaluate my path to rebuild my
and
machine.
that is why you are a successful island right now.
Right. So
What about those that are not successful islands and are not out there succeeding?
listen, this came in from a listener. So
We don't care about listeners anymore.
Listen.
This is all internal now.
listen, if your island's eroding, you're not going back to where you came from.
No.
You said you wouldn't. So that
No.
means you've burned your boat. You would go, you know what? There might be somewhere else I can swim to,
Listen,
but
Yes.
you're not going back.
if
You
my
can't go
island,
backwards.
You can't
if
go
the
back.
island I'm on right now were to fail, I would go back to the boat that I had, and I would go back to that just to say, all right, that's my next stepping stone to go to my next island.
Really?
But it
Yeah.
wouldn't be insurance.
Oh,
Because
no.
no, it would be insurance.
you
I
wouldn't.
would
No,
go
it wouldn't.
straight back to home.
No, you wouldn't.
No,
Yes,
you
I
wouldn't.
would.
No,
If
you
you
wouldn't.
burn down that,
They
I have to
much,
tell you,
Thank you.
that
We
makes-
need to have Carrie click the link. Carrie needs
Carrie.
to click the link.
Carrie,
Yeah.
you need to chime in, please. We need to send Carrie something.
You
here
said
to get her in.
you said you would go back. What was
I would go back to make money to go do something else.
exactly.
Gotcha.
I'm not
So
using
Josh agrees?
this.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
I
you
understand.
burn down that much, you need capital to come back up. You can't
If
do
you
it
have
without the
eroded
capital.
your entire island, where are you buying sand from?
Where are you getting
Well, I
the
don't
material
know.
to
I
build
just
it?
feel
Listen,
like I
they-
could.
Thank you.
I
The
get-
trade
I get
Do
that
you have
side
a new
too.
I
question,
mean,
Kat?
I-
Yeah,
I
thank
don't know.
you.
I don't
Thank
agree.
you. No,
Sorry.
I
No,
feel like the
hey,
women
Joe.
don't
Joe.
agree.
No.
There's also a
Joe.
difference
growth.
between
Hey,
the
Just so you guys
trade-
know, you guys are muted. Go ahead, ladies.
All right, so this is just what I want to say. As a woman who's built a business, I cannot go back into my boat, back to the corporate world, because I've grown so much
Right.
that I don't think I could operate there. Now, does that mean that if Optavia blew up, or if we were in an apocalypse or something, that yes, I could go work for somebody else? We're not talking about that. We're talking about personal growth.
Correct.
I burned my boat. So if something were to happen in the world I'm creating now, I would just go to the far part of the island, as far away as corporate as I can, to go do something else because I'm growing. I'm not going backwards.
Burning the boats is a metaphor for total commitment, and saying it doesn't say you're going to win, right? It doesn't say you're going to succeed. What it says is you're committed to that. You've burnt your boats. You're not running back to the boats if you start getting your asses handed to you.
But to me,
you're going to fight.
If you have a boat, you can go back.
But it's burned.
Can you go back?
Okay, let me slow it down a little bit.
Can I
let me
physically go back?
Let me slow this down. Burning the boat means you're 100% committed
to your
Which
quest.
I'm
To your
in. I'm
quest.
committed, and I'm
Right.
not saying I'm not. But so I guess my boat is burned. But freaking A, guys!
Kids!
Your boat's burned, but you always have a life jacket.
But you
just
want
in
me to?
case.
You want me?
Yeah.
I could swim 20 miles back to the island I was from.
Sure
I
you
can
can.
easily.
Yeah.
do
That
that.
has nothing
Yeah.
to do with the boat burning.
Oh my goodness,
What the hell are we
Joe.
talking
It
about?
only took 45 minutes for us to
Listen,
get
all
there.
I want to
folks.
say is
Hang on.
my machine is a much better analogy than the boats. Thank you,
Cooler
Jason.
sound effects,
Go
right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Go and read about Commander Cortez and the
A
burning
genius
Deal.
before his time.
And then
Deal.
report back next
Yes.
show.
Book report, full on book report, because I don't do well at those.
I think that when people realize that entrepreneurship or being your own boss or whatever isn't for them, whatever situation happens, either it's they didn't realize the back end of a business or life happens or whatever, I feel
Right.
like it's a very good learning experience. I feel it's a very good growth opportunity for a lot of people because
Yes.
some people are amazing generals and that's where they thrive. Like I always thought I was an amazing general when I worked at all my company at all my previous employers. I thought I was amazing general. That's my role. I'm always going to be the right-hand person. But then my last 3 jobs, none of my supervisors claimed me as their subordinate. So then I was like, maybe I'm not meant to be a general and I just carve my own path in these companies. And then I should just
believe you're
do
the-
it
Yeah.
for myself then. And
Right.
that was kind of what pushed me into my own direction. So once I realized that nobody wanted to claim me, maybe I'm not a general, maybe I am more
The leader.
right.
Which is interesting. You think that nobody would claim you, but like
It's not interesting, it's fact.
But
Like they would say
the
that.
fact that nobody
God,
would
this is so
claim
much
you,
fun.
and you go ahead and still plow away, and you're doing so good and being so successful, right? To me, that fact is you're just blazing your own trail. That you're right. That's not a general.
Right.
That is somebody out there just going and saying, "I'm doing my thing." Right. Like, I will say this is Josh and I talk daily about and weekly, so much about where the guys are going, what they're doing, and then I go, all right, what do you think? And he goes, I want to do this. Go
ahead.
And he goes, great. And so we bought him a little name tag that says slave driver. And we put it, and it's a little provocative and probably bad, but he only puts it on for occasional, for when he's whipping the lash on your son, Lynn.
Yes,
Because Lynn's son works for us. So
yes.
so when he's in the job and whatever and doing things, he'll crack the whip, quote unquote. But all the guys look up to him because he has such a high level of quality and he does things to a certain level that all of our employees look at it and they know that he's not just speaking for himself. He's speaking for himself, but he knows that he has our backing, my wife and I, Carrie and I's backing, to say, no, go do what you know needs to be done for this job. And he has full, please speak to your I don't know what you would call your, I don't know what you would call it, support, what you would call like the backing behind you for doing what you feel you need to do and being confident in what you're doing.
Yeah. What would I call my backing?
It's this, to me, you have there's this certain set of, you can just go and yell at the guys.
It's
Not
knowing
yell,
that
but
that you guys have the confidence in me to make the decision that is right for your company or your machine. That's the biggest thing is knowing that you guys are there, and no matter what my decision is, you know that it's the right decision for your machine.
I'm not asking you why.
Yeah.
I just say go do.
Yeah.
That's trust.
Yeah.
That's saying, like, I know that he has gone into his own business, gone back and said, look, I know what you guys are doing, what Carrie and I are doing to run the business. He goes, let me take this gear, cog, whatever you want to call it, in the machine away from you and say, I'm going to go handle this.
Yep.
Right? I'm going to make sure the rest of the gears in the machine are lubed, ready to go and rocking. So that way you guys just feed the hopper.
Yep.
Just make sure that things are being built. Right? Like we have that, we've developed this rapport to where we can just churn and burn.
Yep. And it's more than a rapport. I think it's a relationship. And that's the biggest thing is relationships, and knowing that you can trust somebody more than just trust that they're going to give you that paycheck at the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first things. That was actually one of the first
in
things. Yeah.
somebody.
That was one of the first things that you were worried about was paycheck in the beginning.
Yeah.
Then we developed, all right, I'm going to pay you every 2 weeks.
Yep.
We developed that trust. And then it was like, all right, now I'm going to give you a little bonus here and there.
Now here you go.
Now run.
Here's
now
a
run.
little more granola. Keep following the path. keep going, Mr. Squirrel, and keep us moving. Because they also know that I always have that safety of, hey, if you're not working for me, I'll just go and do it myself.
Right.
Because I know that I can, and especially now with the experience that was gained from working for somebody else and really being able to see the insides of how the machine runs.
We gave you a lot of insight to the machine.
That was my biggest thing is I saw the machine from the outside, but I didn't get in and see everything that makes it run. And I think that was my biggest thing with them is being able to see the insides of the machine.
And then, Lynn, we were talking in the green room a little bit about that you're building a team or have a team.
I do.
And do you take any of your corporate background and experience into developing your team, or have you completely tweaked it into your own style? Like, how does that kind of work for you, bringing that into your own business?
That is a really great question.
I was just going to say the same thing. That's a great
Wow.
question.
I am trying not to bring any of my corporate leadership to this team because it's night and day. Now, here's the thing. When I worked in corporate, I had leadership team, but I did not lead anybody. I was my own salesperson. I had a team, but I was not in charge of them. I wasn't the boss. So I have to say, I think I'm kind of inept in leadership skills and I'm learning. So at Optavia, they're really teaching us the best way to run a team is I don't want to be anybody's boss. I am not their boss. I am showing them a way to run a business that is a fine-tuned machine. And it's almost like a franchise, just like,
I was just going to say,
just like a
like
franchise.
you and I have like kind of the same thing where we jumped into our own thing.
Yep.
However,
Somebody roadmapped
I
it.
have my wife and I have a little bit of a backdrop for us. And so do you with
Yes.
people we can call on.
Yes. And so Joe and I both bought into a company that figured everything else out. And we took the name and we took their processes, et cetera. A true entrepreneur is someone like Ray Kroc, who developed McDonald's and then made it franchisable. And he got into what is called the real estate business, not the burger business. When I look at Joe and I don't know what the actual word is. There is a word for it, but it's where you're buying into an entrepreneurship opportunity. We're not really a franchise because we have a lot of our own say in how things work, but the safety net, the infrastructure has already been built for us. So when I'm building a team,
Just because we're on air, I have to technically say I am a franchise.
you are a franchise. I am not a franchise.
Technically, 100%.
Thank you, Joe,
I am a franchise.
for that clarification.
Yeah. I need to clarify.
Yes,
so
and I am
I don't get in trouble.
And I am Lynn Gale, an independent health coach with Optavia.
There you go.
That's
So,
my legalese
perfect.
right there.
Okay.
So, but when somebody else has showed us the way, when I bring coaches in underneath, I'm not taking my corporate leadership skills, which weren't really all that defined. I'm bringing people in to show them this is the way to do the business. We've figured it out. And just follow the process and bring your own personality. And you can vary from there's no legal thing that says you can't vary because I went this way and that way. I realized that I should have gone straight on the path, because I didn't have a leash.
The immediate thing I pictured was, I don't know how everybody here seems to be that they would remember the Family Circus cartoons from the paper, where it showed one clip and it was the backyard and the kid literally ran around like the swing, the suit, up the tree, down the tree, in the circle, out, circle, out.
You're showing your age.
I don't care. I don't care.
Family Circle?
Family Circus. Circus. It's a family circus. And he literally ran all around. But you mentioned backdrop and how we all kind of have this backdrop, but it's not like, because Steph started her own thing, she doesn't have her backdrop of people to call on.
Right. You have
your
only
do
infrastructure.
have people to call on.
Well, I rely on other small business owners from, as we talked about last show, with the networking groups and the know, like, and trust, and talking to other entrepreneurs that have maybe been in business longer than me, where they've already been through it. Like if I'm going through, like when I was hiring and what I was going through with that, and then the way I manage my team as a business owner is different than when I managed my team as a manager.
Right.
And so there's a lot of differences and things, but yeah, so since I don't have a franchise to kind of fall back on to get like guidance or whatever, a playlist or whatever you want to call, I just rely on other small business owners to kind of help me.
Which as a franchise owner, a true franchise owner, you have people that you can call on. We do. It sounds like we all have our own group of people we can call on.
What does John say?
John
Peterson.
Hey, John.
Real power of Lynn's business is her genuine concern for her clients. The process is great, but it is her genuine professionalism and empathy that makes it a complete success.
John,
Of
thank
course.
you. John's got
John.
a shout out too.
Hold on.
As Josh's wife, I guarantee that he will answer his calls day and night. Wow. Thanks, Meg. I appreciate that.
John Peterson check is in the mail.
And
Thank you, John. I appreciate that.
And let's not forget, John is the guy over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center, www.mchenrymassage.com. We absolutely love them here at
They're right back there.
Look at that.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Lynn,
Lynn, get out of the way.
You blocked it even more.
Hold on.
Lynn, your girls are in the
There
way.
you go.
Yeah, don't worry. I appreciate that, Meg.
Lynn,
That
your
is
girls are in the way.
absolutely awesome. Yeah, don't worry, Lynn. Your girls are fine.
No, see, I can do this. Excuse me.
I would say that I could sit in the middle.
It's always good for
the
radio.
shortest, but I'm
Always good
taller
for-
My
sitting in
goal.
the chair that I'm
Always good
standing.
for-
That's
So.
true. So we'll just make you stand next time.
Glad my parents aren't watching.
Are your parents really watching?
They're not right now.
Oh, mine are. So say hi to my mom.
My dad be like, "That's my girl."
Hi, Joseph from Beaver Island.
Hi, Mom, for Beaver Island. She always watches. Awesome. So, what are we saying?
We got 4 minutes left.
Do we have any questions, anything we want to reply on? Because I had a thought, but then I lost it, so we're out of that now, and I'm over that.
I just think, like, from what I gathered in our conversation today was that, whether you're a boss or an employee, it's two different jobs, right? You have to like learn about each and every one of them. It doesn't make you any better than the other. So it's just the interest that you pick, and then you pick that, and then you commit to that, and then you grow and you move forward.
My wife said to me the other day, she goes, I was doing this, and then she goes, I had to go, and I was sending some emails, and Josh knows she likes to get just into her computer work, and if she's into it, she doesn't want to be bothered. She can't be bothered because if she is, she's off of it, and she's this and that. And she said to me the other day, like last week, she said, I had a phone call, and then I had to send some emails, and I had to do this, and I had to do that. And she's like, it was so hard to switch back and forth from like being on a call to doing this, to going back to paperwork, to being back on a call, to doing. And I went, yeah, it is. Like, that's what a lot of people don't understand is that's kind of that be in the face of people is very hard to maintain. Yeah, being in front of a client, you know, I could do it all day, every day with my eyes closed, but stand up in front of a group, stand in front of somebody and tell them why they need to use you, why they need to refer you, why you're the company they need to use. That's something you got to be on the point with, right? You got to be on the ball.
So everybody go around and say how to get a hold of you one last time before we end our show.
I'm going to let Josh do it to see if you want to do it or you want me to do it.
I never remember the number, so
Dude, it's right there.
No, it's
There
right
it
there.
is.
didn't
Restoration 1,
know the
our
number.
number is 847-264-4664. You can ask for Josh always. My email is j.bidney, BIDNE, @restoration1.com.
Love that. Look at that. That's my man right there.
Lynn, how do I
Love
get a hold
that.
of you?
Okay, I'm Lynn Gale. I'm gonna give my number.
You
Okay,
go,
let's
girl.
roll the
Whoa.
dice.
Do it. Hey,
Get your
blow
pen
her
ready.
cell up. Listen, I want everybody to blow her cell up and get some
Oh, yeah.
Via bars.
Yeah, there you go.
There
Okay,
you
my
go.
number is 224-301-5606. Lynn Gale 467@gmail.com, and that's LYNNGALE 467@gmail. On Facebook, I'm known as Lynn Idstein Gale, so LYNNIDSTEIN, last name Gale, GALE. And
Love
I'm
that.
an independent Optavia health coach.
Awesome.
So Steph at stephsbooks.com.
You're not
or
going to let her do
Steph's
it?
Books. Oh, go ahead.
What?
Come on,
Oh,
Chase.
yeah.
Let's do
Do
it.
it.
You can,
Do it,
if
Chase.
you need any bookkeeping service and tax service,
That's it.
starting today,
it.
you can reach us at Steph at stephsbooks.com, and your number is
847-942-3004.
Here's
And then next
Ringing
week,
off the hook.
next week we're gonna do founder stories. So we want to know
Yes.
your why as to why you started your business. So
Who started
Call
their
in,
business
come
and why?
in.
It's 'cause you burned
click
your
the
boat.
link. Yep, you burned your boat, and now why'd you do that?
Sean
here's
was
what
burning boats.
here's my takeaway. 4 of you are leaping, or maybe 2 of you are leaping with parachutes. So hopefully you were still on the clock.
He's salaried, so He's
I'm on
still
the clock.
Awesome.
All right.
Great
Hey,
show, guys.
everybody out there, thanks for getting caught in the net. This is 21-6 Net. This has been Steph
God,
and
that's
Joe in the know, and or in the know with Steph and Joe, one of those. But hey, come back at 8 p.m. tonight for a brand new episode of Dream Home Experts, straight from the Quiet Cool Studios in Warrenville. We'll talk to you then. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
This is the best show ever.